Welcome back. As the temperatures heat up, you want to make sure your car can cool you down. Joining me now is Cliff Hudson of Hudson's Import Service with tips on taking care of your AC. Good to see you, Cliff.
Same here.
Now, I love AC. First of all, because it cools me down, and second of all, because it cleans the air coming into my car.
Exactly. Dehumidifies it also.
Oh, perfect. All in one. Now, Cliff, what do we have to do to make sure our air conditioning is running properly?
Well, here is the layman's test. Gee, that feels good. Okay. You know, Dave,
So simple.
Yeah, an automotive air conditioning system can literally be left alone. It contains refrigerant. Unless it leaks, there's nothing to do. Average vent temperature for an automobile is about 40 degrees. Now, don't go looking for that at your house because you're not going to see vent temperatures anywhere close to that at home.
Right.
But the average perfect vent temperature in an automobile is actually about 40 degrees.
Wow.
And that cools the cabin down real well. But the question is, when it doesn't feel right, what do we do then? Now,
exactly.
Years ago, we're going to take a tight shot of this. Years ago, a customer would come in and say, my car is not cooling. And we'd raise the hood, you see that little bit of glass right there.
Yeah.
We could actually see the flow of refrigerant in that little glass.
Okay.
So we very quickly would say, guess what? You're simply low. We pull the car into the shop, juice it up right quick. Actually, by looking in the glass, it wasn't perfect weighing it out to the exact ounce, but basically that gave us a real good shot, and it was an industry-wide accepted way to charge the air.
So what is the refrigerant? Is it a liquid? Is it a gas?
It's a gas, and that's the problem with it. It's colorless and odorless.
I wonder. Yeah.
So when it escapes, it leaves no residue. So the only way, the two ways to look for it is first with what we call a Geiger counter. It's an actually electronic sniffer that you go around with the system, and if it finds the presence of refrigerant, it goes off like a Geiger counter would
Just
for,
like
for radiation.
Exactly.
Exactly. Also, you can inject the system with an ultraviolet dye. Flip on a black light, and it glows.
Right, because it might not be leaking from the actual unit here. It could be in a hose or something like that.
Could be in a hose. Actually, there's an evaporator. The unit that gets cold is called the evaporator. It's actually inside the dash. It can leak into the cabin with you, and unbeknownst to you, you're actually breathing it. So we don't just raise the hood anymore. Today's cars have to be evacuated. That we no longer have the little glass there that we can cheat and see the refrigerant flow. So now we've got to put a machine on the car. We actually have to recover. We pull all the refrigerant out of the system. The machine weighs it as it's coming out. We compare the weight of what came out to the weight of what the car spec is, and then we determine if it was low, overcharged, or perfect.
Now, if it is low, my parents, before we went on vacation every summer, they'd say, got to take the car in and get the Freon charged up.
And Freon's a brand name.
Exactly.
Way back in the 80s, we can use it because it's kind of like using
now
Edsel.
I'm dating myself.
Kind of like using Edsel. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, when we got into the Wally wagon and headed to Myrtle Beach, that was the thing.
Freon's a brand name. It's actually refrigerant.
Okay.
But yeah, the old systems leaked, and pretty much once a year, a charge was almost a maintenance thing.
And that's exactly what they used to say, but now it's getting a lot more efficient.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, we got a picture coming up. We're going to shift subjects off the refrigerant right quick because time catches us quickly. we got a picture coming up.
Cliff could talk the whole show, believe
Yeah, now,
me.
here you go. There's your underhood. Now, this car has parked under a tree.
Yeah.
Okay, you see all that debris there?
Yeah, you're making me want to sneeze.
That stuff, if it wasn't for, you remember, a few shows ago, we had our old friend, the cabin filter.
That's right.
A couple shows ago, our old friend, the cabin filter, our pollen filter. This will catch that debris, but years ago, all of that stuff you see was headed into the air conditioning system, where it would clog the drain, and the water would then flow out into the cabin of the car. Now, it's still important because if you park under one of those trees where you've got all that debris, you've got to remember that that stuff is going to clog this cabin filter much more quickly than if you're not parking under one.
So you have to change it more frequently.
Right, so you have to change it more frequently, exactly.
And also it catches the pollen, which I love.
Catches the pollen. Some of them are even charcoal impregnated. It catches the diesel smoke as well, the diesel fumes.
Nice, and probably the best thing to do if you do have any questions on your air conditioning unit in your car, just give you a call, right, Cliff?
Exactly right. If you have any questions about anything that's going on, you call somebody, you get an expert to look at it, and then you'll know for sure.
There's all Cliff's information on the screen. Give him a call. Always a good time when Cliff's in the studio. Thanks, Cliff.
I enjoyed it again.
How often do you get to see one of these?
Yeah, I had to look for it. We couldn't find one in the shop anywhere.
Good to see you, Cliff.
Same here.
All right, well, we've got an inspirational story coming up for you next about one woman who creates personalized wigs for cancer patients. This is something you can't miss.